Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be showing us how to make a simple straight trousers with side zip and without pockets. If it's something you're interested in, then stick with me to the end of this video. I've already marked my lines on the fabric. I marked the hip line from the waist to the hip line and from the waist to the crotch length. So the crotch length you measure by sitting on a flat surface and measuring from the waist length to the top of the flat surface. That's one way to get your crotch length. So because my waistband is going to be 2 inches wide, I'm going to be subtracting that from my measurement before I apply. So I've removed 2 inches with my tape. As you can see, my measurement is starting from 2 inches, and then I'll just mark 8 inches and then mark 11 inches, which is for the crotch. I'll also mark the length of the trouser plus 2 inches sewing allowance. Next, I'm going to apply the hip measurement. That's 40 inches divided by 4, and I have 10 inches. So I'll mark that, and then I'll also add my allowances. Because I'm drafting directly on fabric, I'm going to add my allowance as I am marking, as I'm drafting. So I've added 1 inch and 1 inch. This is just 2 inches, one on one side and one on the other side. So basically you have your round hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance. So I'll just transfer that same measurement to the waist length as well and draw a straight line to connect them. Now for the crotch extension, I'll be dividing the hip measurement by 20. Based on my measurement, my crotch extension is 2 inches. So I'll just extend from that straight line I had by 2 inches and mark it. And then at the intersection between the crotch line and the hip line I drew earlier, I'm going to go up diagonally by 1 inch and then draft my curve, my crotch curve. Next, I'm going to apply the waist measurement divided by 4. So the waist measurement divided by 4 is 7, but I'll be adding 2 inches allowance. So that's 9. I'll mark it at 9. I'm not going to have any dots in front, so that's why I'm just using the exact measurement plus allowance. So I would mark the 9 and then connect it with a straight line from the waist to the hip. So to connect from waist to hip for trousers, you're better off using a straight line or a slightly curved line, not too curved, otherwise you're going to have an awkward shape. Next, I'm going to find the midpoint of my crotch line. So first of all, I'll measure across the crotch line to know the full length, and then I'll get the midpoint. So I have it as 7 inches. I'll mark that, and then I'll go to the bottom of the trousers, the hem, and then mark 7 inches as well. This is just to get the grain line of the trousers, and afterwards I'll use a ruler to connect both points together. Next, I would apply my waist to knee measurement. I would ensure I'm subtracting my waistband measurement if I take this measurement. So that is minus 2 inches waistband, just as I did for the hip and the crotch length. So mine is 22 inches. I would mark that and then draw a straight line across. And then at that point, I would apply my knee measurement plus allowance. So I have that plus my allowance. So allowance is 2 inches. I'll be applying 5 inches on one side and 5 inches on the other side. And then I'll go to the base of the trousers and apply the measurement I want at the base. So I want it to be straight from the knee to the base at the same measurement. So I'll be applying 5 inches on one side and 5 inches on the other side of the base of the trousers. And then I will connect my lines together. I'll be connecting from the base to the knees to the crotch, and do that at both sides. And then I'll go ahead and cut out the front pattern. And then at the waist of the pattern, I'm going to go down by 1 inch at the center front, and then I'll be connecting it to the side front, but I won't cut this out yet until I've drafted my back pattern. I'll go ahead and cut out the crotch area and the hip area. I'll put this aside now because I'll be using it to draft the back pattern. Now I've folded the fabric I'll be using to cut out my back pattern. First thing I'm going to do is to measure 1.5 inches from the top and draw a straight line across. So this 1.5 inch is where the front pattern is going to start from. So usually for a trouser, the back is longer than the front, and it ranges from 1 to 2 inches. So for my measurement, I'll be using 1.5 inches. And also for the width of the fabric, I've made it this 2 inches bigger than the width of the front. So for the front, I had so 12 inches plus 2 inches out 14. So for the back, I have 16 inches width. So it's just 2 inches bigger than the front pattern and 1.5 inches longer than the front pattern. Next, I'll bring the front pattern and place it on the back pattern, ensuring that the top of the front pattern is on that 1.5 inch line that I marked. And then I would ensure that the hip, like the sides, are at the same side. So that extra is going to be at the crotch area. So I have 2 inches wider than the front pattern, just as I said initially. First, I'm going to go in by 2 inches from the center back. So I would mark 2 inches. This will be my new center back. And then from that point, that's where I'll be measuring, applying my waist measurement. So the waist measurement I measured initially was 7 inches plus 2 inches allowance, that is 9. So I'll mark that on back pattern. And then I'll connect it to the hip measurement. Next, I'll connect from the waistline to the top of the 2 inches. So it's going to be diagonal, it's going to slant a bit because it's higher at the center, and at the side it's the same measurement as the front. That makes sense. So it's going to slant. Next, I'm going to draw my crotch curve for the back. So I'll transfer that intersecting point where my crotch extension began for the front to the back, and then I'll connect from the waist to that point to the 2 inches extension. I'll just use my free hand to connect these points together. Next, at the leg of the trousers, I will be adding 2 inches to the measurement I have for the front. So I'll just add 2 inches from the top to the bottom of the leg of the trousers. Next, I'll just go ahead and cut out the pattern. I'll also cut out the curves I drew at the front pattern. For the waistband, whatever you decide your waistband is, you multiply that by 2 and add 1 inch. That's how much fabric you'll be cutting for your waistband. And then for the length, it's going to be your waist measurement plus your allowance. I usually like to have an excess of 4 inches just in case I need extra, so I'm not stranded halfway through sewing. So whatever my round waist plus the allowance plus 4 inches excess. To prepare the waistband, I'll be ironing stay on it. You can use paper stay, I think it's called gum stay. If that's what you have available, you can use stay just to give it more body. That's why I use interfacing. So I'll be using the cotton interfacing to iron on it just to give it more body. Next, I iron 1/2 inch in. So I'll just fold it in by 1/2 inch, and then I'll fold again to cover the amount that I'm using for the waistband. So it's going to be remaining 1/2 inch. If you use the calculation I did, that's whatever your waistband is times 2 plus 1. Once you fold it, you have 1/2 inch remaining. That's supposed to be your sewing allowance. So I'll just iron this across. Now we're ready to start sewing. The first thing I'm going to do is to join the front pattern and the back pattern. I'll take the sewing machine and join by 1 inch allowance, which is what I left. I'll sew with the 1 inch allowance. Once I get close to the end, I'll stop, and then I'll do the same for the back. I'll sew with 1 inch allowance. Once I get close to the end of the crotch extension, I'll stop. So basically, the reason why we don't sew all the way to the end is it creates a better balance when you're joining your trousers together. So I've gone and sewn the center front and the center back together. Now I have 2 pieces instead of 4 pieces of the trousers. Next thing I'm going to do is to go and iron it open, iron the seam open. Afterwards, I'll place the front and back together, ensure that they are centralized. And I'll apply my measurements, but I'll be taking the measurements from the midpoint for the center front. So I'll apply the waist measurement and the hip measurement, and then I'll take it to the sewing machine and sew the sides. So because I am going to have side zip, the side that has the zip, I'll sew with the running stitch, that's the biggest stitch, up to where the zip starts from or where the zip stops, and then I'll continue sewing with normal stitch. Next, I'll take it and iron the seams opened. So next, I'm going to open up the part where I sewed with running stitch, that's the zip opening. Now that I've opened the zip opening, I'll take my waistband and sew from one side to the other. So I'll be sewing it from the inside with half an inch sewing allowance. So once I'm done sewing it on the inside, I'll come back and sew on the front. So the other side is going to be sewn on the front of the trouser. Next, I'll sew the inside leg of the trouser with my 1 inch allowance. I'll sew it from the top all the way to the bottom, and I'll do this for both legs of the trousers. Remember that 1 inch I left when I was sewing the crotch of the front and the back, the part that I left unsewn? So this is where we'll join it. So I have like a small opening, so I'll just align it, open my allowance to follow the path of the crotch from front to back, and then I'm going to join it from the front side where the opening started from to the back side where the opening stopped. So I'll just sew all the way to close the opening. Next, I'll take it to the sewing machine and attach the zip to the zip opening that I have here. I hope you found this video helpful so far. This is just one way to sew trousers. There are multiple ways to sew. So the next thing I'm going to do after sewing the zip is to hem the bottom. If you have excess on your trousers, like maybe the front is longer than the back, you would want to fold the trousers the way I've just folded it, and then place them together so that legs are equal. Even if I don't have excess, I like to do this method just to ensure that the legs of my trousers are straight, because I've noticed that for some reason or the other, when you sew trousers, one part of the leg becomes longer than the other side. So I just like to ensure that they are equal, the two legs are equal and balances well. So I have excess, like half an inch excess. I'll just trim that off, ensuring that it's straight, and then I'll take it to the sewing machine and fold the leg. And that's it for this trouser. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post a new video. If you have any questions, drop in the comment section. I'll be happy to provide any details that you require. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one.